in Gorgio. Hi, my name is John, and I've been making stuff for the shop and around the house, and so now we're going to make something for fun. We've got this display wand holder. It's going to hold an elder wand, preferably just because it's the Deathly Hallows shape. Just slides right in and hangs on the wall, and we'll get into how to make it. I'm going to use walnut to make this with, just because I feel like it's a good dark wood that goes with it. Matches the color, and we're going to start by making the triangle first. I only have a 6-inch jointer, and so when I buy the pieces that are more than 6 inches, I have to cut it down. And so what I do, I need to cut 3/4 inch strips, so I make sure that whatever I cut it down to will give me the most out of the board, and I'm not wasting as much but still getting under 6 inches. In order to get these circle pieces, I made this template, and so we can line up on the board and make sure we have our length that we need for the edges, and we can get these circle pieces off of this side. We can just cut this off right here. We'll come back to finish this later, and we'll take this and cut down our straight pieces. From this point, I like to pick which side will be the front, and I marked them all, so I try to keep the grain and the orientation the same. So I think I'm going to make these the front, so I'm going to mark them with an F. And we'll set our miter to 30 degrees. So I have my faces. I'm going to keep the face up on all of the cuts. And I'm just going to cut one side of them. Now I'm going to add a board to my miter. Make sure it's long enough to handle it. And I'm just going to screw it on. We cut them with the face up. So next we're going to cut it with the face down. And we're going to have a stop to tell us exactly where to cut it. Now that we have the stop set, we can go ahead and make our cuts. And this time, instead of face up, we're putting the face down. That way it's making sure it's in the correct orientation. I put in a dado stack, and we're going to do a half lapse is what we're going to do to secure these to each other. And so to set the height, I'm going to do that live, set how far I want to cut in, and I want the cut to be the thickness of one of these. I get a little spacer here, and I set my fence so that it's the thickness of this, right on the edge of that. Lock that in, and I'll show you how I set the height of the dado stack. this jig to hold down my circle pieces and gives me a way to cut the straight line on them. I'll show you how that works. So we have two straight lines, and we can jigsaw or bandsaw out the curve. I don't have my bandsaw working right now, so we'll jigsaw it. Now, before I do my glue up, I always try to clean this edge. I like to use these spring clamps to glue it up. Try to keep it off the last top so I don't want any glue oozing out the top and that joint, just because it's harder to clean up. And let that dry. Now it's all dry and we're gonna get it sanded. Okay, this is where it all starts to come together. There we go. Add a hanger. Finish it. Now I made this jig just to put a keyhole in the back really easily. You just have your router set up at the right height. There's a stop built in. And it's all done.
Well, here's the first one I ever made, and the newest one. If you'd like them, let me know. Maybe I'll sell them again. If you want some plans, let me know. We'll see. What do you guys want? Let me know. Ridiculous!